येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। The precarious condition of living entities in this world is described in Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic scriptures. And particularly Srila Prabhupada quoted Amrita Bindu Upanishads in Bhagavad Gita purport. You all know that comparison or analogy is there, that this material body is compared to a chariot, and where is that purport actually? Oh, it is 6.34. I was searching in the beginning of 6th chapter. Anyway, material body is compared with chariot, and Atma is passenger in that chariot, and intelligence is driver. Intelligence is driver. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So intelligence is considered as driver and compared with driver, and reins are compared with mind, and senses are compared with horses. And those horses are dragging the conditioned souls in different directions. Therefore, so the situation is in material world. The actual situation should be that the so passenger is supposed to be very strong, and he is supposed to control the driver, and driver also is supposed to be stronger to hold on the reins of those horses. In other words, Atma is supposed to be very spiritually strong, and it is supposed to control this intelligence, material intelligence, and intelligence is supposed to control the mind, because function of intelligence is to make decisions, whether make judgments and make decisions, and mind is basically, it is a storehouse of thoughts, previous experiences and desires. And intelligence is supposed to control the mind, and mind is supposed to control these senses. And in this way, one is supposed to be on a spiritual platform, but unfortunately in the material world it is opposite. Intelligence is the soul is very weak spiritually, and because of that intelligence also has become lusty. There is no, especially shastric, when there is no shastric knowledge, there is no intelligence for there is no knowledge for intelligence to do the proper things, right and wrong, make a difference, make distinction between right and wrong, and mind is wild, and senses are also pulling everywhere in different directions. Now imagine one is traveling by chariot, and if horses are pulling in different directions, what will be the situation of living and the person who is traveling? So it is a very precarious condition. So we are all in this situation in the material world, all conditioned souls, those who are conditioned souls. So they are all under the control of, so they are all pulled by these senses in different directions. Sometime Prabhupada gave example, if these senses are like a man having many wives, they are pulling that person in different directions, different things. So his situation would be very precarious. This kind of situation you won't find in modern society, traditionally maybe. So in this way, Vishayansteshu gocharan atmendriya mano yuktam. So here that verses are there quoted by Srila Prabhupada. Actually they are from Kathopanishad. Atmanam rathinam vidhi shariram ratamevacha. Rati means one who is traveling in the ratha. Shariram ratamevacha. This body is compared with chariot. Buddhim tu saratim vidhi. So intelligence is Sarati, that driver, chariot driver. Mana pragraham evacha. Mind is that reins which we hold, or that chariot driver holds. Indriyani hayanahur. Haya means horses. Senses are horses. Vishayam steshu gocharan. Now these horses have their, like in modern society, they have headlights for this. So horses have their senses. Vishayans, that sense objects are there. Teshu gocharan. Atmendriya mano yuktam bhoktet ahur manishinaha. Atmendriya mano yuktam bhoktet manishinaha. So those who are manishina means intelligent people, great thinkers. This is how they have understood this situation of living entity in the material world. So it is a very precarious condition. Imagine this situation, someone traveling in the chariot and horses are pulling, they are uncontrolled. They are pulling everywhere in different directions. 5 horses are there, 5 senses are there. So generally, how an activity is performed in the material world. In very philosophical terms, in Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic scriptures, it is mentioned that it's an interaction between senses and sense objects. Indriyan indriyarteshu. Often it comes in Bhagavad Gita. Senses are always engaged in sense objects. So, generally these knowledge acquiring senses are there. So, they come in contact with sense objects and the message is sent to the mind, and mind has, for instance, take an example, you are walking on the road and you see a sweet shop there, and you will see some sweets. So, eyes are looking at, eyes are knowledge acquiring senses, jnanendriyas. So, they see sweet and then the message is sent to mind, and mind has previous experience, it's a store of experiences, desires and thoughts. So, it has experience of previous eating of some sweet. So, then it sends message to intelligence, and intelligence is supposed to make decision based on whether I have money or not in my pocket to purchase this sweet. So, intelligence is decision maker ultimately. So, or someone is suffering from diabetes, he is not supposed to eat, but if the intelligence is weak, what happens? Then he will succumb to the sense desires, sensual indulgence. In this way, he will go and so he may eat some sweets. So, this is how an activity takes place. Now, if intelligence is nourished by spiritual knowledge, then he can make decisions in favor of one's spiritual advancement. But in the material world, because we don't have spiritual knowledge, intelligence is not nourished by that spiritual knowledge. So, it is materialistic sense, weak intelligence. So, in this way, our condition is very dangerous. So, the person who is traveling in that chariot, he will go and fall in a pit. So, he may break himself easily. So, in this way, we are in a very precarious condition in the material world. So, this is all because we have disconnected ourselves from Krishna. So, when we disconnect ourselves from Krishna, what happens? We become spiritually weak. So, just like that verse is there, Prabhupada quoted that it is in Bhagavatam. Yata taror mula nishechanena trapyanti yaskanda bhujopashaka pranopaharasya yatendriyanam. That verse, sarvaranam achyuteja. So, it is said, just like pouring water to the roots of the tree, all the branches of the tree will be nourished just by giving food to the stomach. Similarly, all the senses are nourished. So, by engaging in devotional service to Achyuta, every living entity is satisfied. So, now all the living entities are just like, so this verse is quoted in different ways. Sometimes we quote this in connection with demigod worship. You don't need to separately worship demigods. So, like that, we can learn many lessons from this verse. Similarly, living entities, when they are disconnected from the root, so Krishna is the root of all existences. Even Sankhyaites, when they study the elements of material nature, in the end they come to the point of Purusha. Purusha is the existence of all, so basis of all existence. Now we are all, so our root of all existences is existence is Lord Vishnu or Krishna, Purusha. So, if he is the root of the tree, then we living entities become branches, leaves, flowers, etc. So, Prabhupada sometimes he glorified his disciples, especially American disciples. He said, you are flowers of this country, like that he said, because they have taken to Krishna consciousness. So, we living entities are, branches, twigs, leaves and flowers and Lord is root of that tree. When roots are nourished, then what happens automatically? So all other branches, leaves, twigs, flowers, fruits are all nourished. So similarly, when there is no nourish, means basically when we don't give, when we disconnect ourselves from Krishna, then we become spiritually weak, irrelevant. So we are finished. So therefore Shastras very strongly, like we see in Bhagavatam also and in Upanishads, in Ishopanishad also. So Ishopanishad it is said, what it is said, that living entities who are spiritually disconnected, they are killers of themselves, it is said. Atma hano janaha, materialistic conditioned souls, those who are engaged in sense gratification. So they are killers of soul, they are killers of themselves. Like in Bhagavatam also, Pashugnath, killers of animals. Killers of animals also means killers of oneself. So they are, so when we become disconnected from Krishna and we indulge ourselves in material sense gratification, then what happens? We kill ourselves. So we are spiritually died. In this way, living entity, so just like senses also, senses of the body, that is also example is given. When we don't supply food to the stomach, what happens? Automatically all other senses become weak. So in this way, we have to, when we become disconnected from Krishna, we become spiritually weak and we die spiritually. It's a spiritual death, it is. So one proper disciple, he wrote an article, sex is death. Sex is death, he says. Ravindra Swarup Prabhu. So because among all kinds of sense indulgences, sensual activities in the material world, that is highest. So in this way, we become spiritually died. That's why we have to connect ourselves. Krishna Bahirmukha Jiva Bhoga Vancha Kari Nikataste Maya Thare Japati Adari. So when living entity turns away from Krishna, then immediately Maya captures, and in this way we die. There is no death for Atma, but because we go away from our original constitutional position, then what happens? So we are almost like dead, spiritually dead. So this is a condition of the living entity. So we are very spiritually weak, we are in a very precarious condition. So we have to develop spiritual strength. We have to develop spiritual strength. How we will develop spiritual strength? If you take this own analogy which is given in Kathopanishad of chariot. So what we have to do? We have to nourish ourselves. Our intelligence first. Beginning with intelligence. So how we nourish our intelligence? By hearing Shastra, by reading Shastra, by hearing Shastra. So then we get spiritual knowledge, and when we get spiritual knowledge, our intelligence is nourished, and we come to the point of making proper decisions in favor of spiritual life. So Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter, he says, Tasma Shastra Pramanam te Karya Vijanataha. So one should determine what should be done and what should not be done based on Shastra Pramana. So Shastra gives us, Shastra is a perfect knowledge, absolute knowledge. And Shastras, they speak about, especially Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and of course Srimad Bhagavatam is there. It is beginning with Upanishads. Upanishads are considered as ABCD of spiritual life. Our acharyas, they considered Upanishads as ABCD. That means even Vedanta becomes ABCD. The highest is Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Jnatva Shastram Vidanoktam. After knowing the rules and regulations of Shastra, Vidanoktam, so one should engage in activities. So our intelligence is nourished, and when our intelligence is nourished, then we will make proper decisions. So then automatically mind and senses also will follow. That's why Krishna spoke about Buddhi Yoga, nourishing intelligence in Bhagavad Gita. So that Buddhi Yoga means what? Action based on knowledge. You see, from beginning to end we have this. So, and of course, basically, we have to, in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. So, often in Kali Yuga, we are not so intelligent enough to understand spiritual knowledge. But if we engage sincerely in devotional service also, Krishna will give us intelligence in the heart. In the next verse also, Tesham evanakam partam aham ajnanajam tam anashami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. Krishna says that being situated in the heart of all living entities, I, especially his devotees who are engaged continuously in the service, so I dissipate their ignorance with the candle of, with the lamp of knowledge, he says. So Krishna will be especially merciful with, among all the transcendentalists, Krishna will be especially merciful with devotees. So in this way we develop knowledge, we develop intelligence, and in this way we become spiritually strong. Then we will be able to come out of this ignorance. So ultimately knowledge comes from Krishna only, and so spiritual strength comes from Krishna only. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna said, Balam balavatam chaham kama raga vivarjitaha. I am that strength which is devoid of attachment and lust and attachment, kama raga vivarjitaha. So Prabhupada explains in his lecture that lust means what? He says overindulgence in sense gratification. So he says bodily functions. I am paraphrasing here. So indulgence, overindulgence in sense gratification, in senses, in sensual activities is called lust, he says. If you engage in regulated way, that's okay. That is fine. So here that means what? Bhala means, and in the purport Prabhupada he also says, Bhala means that which is used. Krishna is that kind of energy. So Prabhupada he says that strength is meant for protecting the weak, not for self-aggrandizement, he says. So this is basically on the platform of dharma actually. Kshatriyas are supposed to be physically strong, and they are supposed to protect the weak, those who are physically weak. But we can take it into spiritual also, in terms of spiritual, that as we become free from lust and attachment, so we develop strength, spiritual strength. So as we become free from material lust and so attachment, we become spiritually strong. So why attachment also? Even if we are attached to something, any object in this world, what happens? We will end up in making wrong decisions. Just like, Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra, he was attached to his son. So many people advised to him. Sanjaya was continuously advising him, his secretary, because Sanjaya was Vedavyasa's disciple. He had spiritual knowledge. Sanjaya was advising him continuously. Vedavyasa himself came and advised many times. Then you lost your network connection, trying to reconnect. Just okay. So what I said, Sanjaya Sanjay was advising, Vyasadeva himself advised many times in Mahabharata, again and again we see. Then then who? Akrura came and advised. Lord Krishna himself came and advised Dhritarashtra. In this way, we see that many personalities advised, and even Dhritarashtra also understood that. Dhritarashtra's situation was like how it was. It was just like that Matsya Jala Nyaya. There is one logic is there. Matsya Jala Nyaya means what? Matsya means fish. Jala means net. A fish is caught in the net, and it knows that if I go out of the net, to become free, I have to go out of this net, but it cannot go out of net. It has knowledge that I have to go out of this net, but it cannot go out of its net. Similarly, Dhritarashtra was like that, his situation. He knew that I am doing wrong, it is not good. Favoring Duryodhana is not at all good. In fact, Vidura, we forgot name, Vidura constantly advised him. In fact, Vidura, when Duryodhana was born only, that time only Vidura told that you just kill this baby, otherwise he will destroy the whole family, whole dynasty. So, therefore, if we are attached to something, then what happens? We will end up in making wrong decisions. Or spiritually, we will be disaster. It will be a disaster. So, therefore, Krishna says, I am that strength which is free from lust and attachment. Kama raga vivarjita. So, and as we become free from lust means here like what Prabhupada explained, indulgence. So, the more we indulge in sense gratification, we become spiritually weak. So, Prabhupada used to say that spiritual advancement and sense indulgence, they go ill together. So, they don't go together. Kama and raga. In this way, lust and attachment, we should become free from lust and attachment. So, then we become spiritually strong. Spiritually strong. But ultimately, all this strength, spiritual strength, comes from Krishna. It is not like demonic. These demons, they say, Dambo, Dharpo, Bhimanascha, Krodha, Parushyamevach. No, what is that? Siddhoham, Balavan, Sukhi, how it starts. Ishwaroham, Aham, Bhogi. Right? Ishwaroham. Ishwaroham, what is that? Anyway, I am getting confused. So, Siddhoham Balavan Sukhi. That demons, they think that I am powerful, I am perfect. Ishwaroham Aham Bhogi Siddhoham Balavan Sukhi. Yeah. So, it starts like that. Ishwaroham Aham, I am controller, I am enjoyer, I am perfect, I am powerful, I am strong. Like in modern society, all these people, motivation speakers, they all motivate everyone. You are strong, you are powerful, like that. So, this is all demonic tendencies. We are not powerful, we are so weak, we are in such a precarious condition. So, Krishna is strong. So, Krishna is the source of all strength. So, all strength comes from Krishna. Like powerful Hiranyakashipu. He was astonished that how this small child, because everyone in the creation except few people, so they were scared of Hiranyakashipu. But this small 5-year-old boy, he was not scared of Hiranyakashipu. And this astonished Hiranyakashipu, and he asked, why, from where you are getting this strength, he said. Then Prahlad answers to that question, I am getting this strength from the same source from where you are getting strength. So Prahlad was reminding this demon Hiranyakashipu that source of that demon's strength is also Krishna only. So all our atheistic friends and demonic friends, so we should remind them that source of our strength is Krishna or Vishnu. So all the strength comes from Vishnu or Krishna. And we need this spiritual strength to make progress in spiritual life, and not material strength, like we see in Bhagavatam first canto, the second canto. In the beginning, when Shukadeva Goswami started speaking, the first thing he said that nothing in this world will protect you, no force in this world will protect you. He said it to Parikshit Maharaj. He said, what is that? Asatsaineshu api. How it starts that? Deha apatya kalatradishu atma saineshu asatsu api. Deha patya kalatradishu. Deha, this body. Here we come to the point of physical strength. You may have a lot of physical strength, but that will not help you to overcome death. It will not protect you from death. So first thing he said, like you may build muscles. Nowadays it is Fit India movement is going. People want to be, of course there is no wrong in being fit, but some people are interested in building muscles, showing their what they say, six biceps, six pack, 6 packs, 8 packs. They have so many packs, but nothing will save us. Deha patya. Deha, you may have very stout and strong body. Apatya, relatives, kalatradishu, wife, children, no one will save us from death. Prabhupada has spoken a lot on this verse and very nice, especially there is one verse, one lecture in which he gave in 1972 on this verse. It's very nice to hear. In Delhi he gave. So he has spoken on this verse a lot. Sometime he would quote, he would tell that joke. One intelligent person, he thought that I can protect myself from Yamaraj by putting a stool on my body because of the smell, obnoxious smell. So Yamaraj will not come near me. So like that, more intelligent person. But nothing will protect one. So in this way, so one may have physical strength, that will not help. I'll come to this point of physical strength more. So we need spiritual strength. So that spiritual strength comes from Krishna. So there is a verse in Mundaka Upanishad. Mundaka Upanishad is also called as Atharvana Upanishad. Atharvana Upanishad. So why it is called as Atharvana Upanishad? It is from Atharva Veda. And also the speaker of that, or it was spoken first to Atharva Rishi. So Atharva, and there is another Rishi, his name is also called Atharvana, who also spoke this Upanishad to others. So in this way, Mundaka Upanishad is called as Atharvana Upanishad. So there are 6 sections in Mundaka Upanishad. Khanda, they are called as Khandas. And in the 6th Khanda, Basically, there are three Pratama Mundaka, Dvitiya Mundaka and Tritiya Mundaka. First three divisions are made, and again in each division there are two divisions. So in the last division, so basically last third part of this Mundaka Upanishad speaks about Prayojana and Abhideya and Prayojana. So mostly Prayojana, attainment of the absolute truth, and also means how to attain it. There are very famous verses are there in the 6th section of that. That verse is there. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyayo na medaya na bahuna shrutena yame vaishya vranute thena labhyas tashaisha atma vibranute thanu swam. So it is said that just by doing very scholarly discourses, one will not be able to attain absolute truth, nor by intelligence, nor by reading lot of shastras also. Bahuna shrutena, reading books are shrutena. Yamai vesha vranute tena labhyas tashaisha. So Lord can be attained, Supreme Lord can be attained by only those whom Krishna wants to reveal, or he himself wants to reveal. So not by any other means. So very famous verse. Like that there are many famous verses how to attain. So that is Abhideya, right? And one of the verses is there is this verse, Nayam Atma Bala. Can you share that verse? Nayam, we will recite this verse. Nayam Atma Balahine labhyo न च प्रमादा तपसो वाप्य लिंगात् एतैरुपाह्यैर्यतते यस्तु विद्वांस तश्रेष आत्मा विशते ब्रह्मधाम. नायम आत्म बलहीनेन लभ्यो न च प्रमादात् तपसो व्याप्य लिंगात् एतैरुपायैर्यतते यस्तु विद्वांस तस्यैष आत्मा विशते ब्रह्मधाम. नायम आत्मा बलहीनेन लभ्यो न च प्रमादात् तपसो व्याप्य लिंगात् एतैरुपायैर्यतते यस्तु विद्वांस तस्यैष आत्मा विशते ब्रह्मधाम. नायम आत्मा बलहीनेन लभ्यो न च प्रमादात् तपसो व्याप्य लिंगात्. वाप्य लिंग. एतैरुपायैर्यतते यस्तु विद्वांस तस्यैष आत्मा विशते ब्रह्मधाम. So this verse means basically na ayam atma. Balahinena labhyo. Here Atma means mind also, because Atma word means it's mind, it is body, it is soul also. All three. Prabhupada has given that meaning, we see in Bhagavad Gita also. When our mind is weak, na ayam atma balahinena. So with weak mind one cannot attain. Weak mind means what? It is basically contaminated by, so there is no determination. There is it is polluted by all this kama, krodha, lobha, unwanted things. So material desires, three modes, etc. So one cannot attain with weak mind. Nacha pramada tapaso vyapi lingat. Pramada, madness. Here madness means it is also connected with mind again. It is madness means here commentators they explain that anischala chittata. Anischala, mind is fickle. So that is called as pramada, with fickle mind, fickleness of the mind. Tapaso vyapya lingaha. Tapaso vapya lingat. You are doing tapasya, but it is not here especially tapasya. Vapa lingat, linga means you see symbols. So linga means symbols, means how this, sannyas has a symbol, like he has to keep shika, he has to shave his head, he has to wear saffron robes, he has to hold danda, kamandalo, etc. Like that every ashram has, varna and ashram has what? Symbols. You are following varnashrama without symbols, then also one will not able to attain the absolute, like that, supreme absolute, Brahma. So yete rupaya yetate yastu vidvams tasyeshe atma vishate brahmadama. So only one develops spiritual strength, he becomes free from fickleness of the mind and follows his varnashrama dharma properly, will gradually enter into Vishate Brahmadama. Vishate means entering, Brahmadama means abode of the Lord, basically attaining Lord. So our Acharya has quoted this verse, Atma balahinena labhyaha. So Prabhupada used to quote this first part of this, Nayam Atma balahinena, of this verse, and say that without spiritual strength one will not be able to attain the absolute truth, or one will not be able to attain Krishna. So in this way Prabhupada would often quote this. And we all know one famous Indian Swami who went to West and gave one lecture there in Chicago, although Prabhupada gave so many lectures, who became famous in India by going West and giving one lecture. So Prabhupada gave so many lectures, but people don't know Prabhupada or his contribution. In India, somehow in the West no one knows him, but in India he is a very famous Swami. Vivekahina Swami. He misinterpreted this verse, saying many verses he used to, Upanishadic statements, he used to misinterpret and quote. Awake, arise, don't stop until you, don't stop, like that. So that famous his saying is there. That is from what? Kata Upanishad. Or Chandogya Upanishad, what is that? Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varam Nibodhata. It is Chandogya Upanishad or Kata Upanishad, one of the Upanishads. Sometime in many Upanishads, same statements we get. So like that he quoted. And this verse also he would quote, Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhya. you should become strong, strength, physically strong. So he would encourage everyone to eat meat. Instead of reading Bhagavad Gita, play football, like that. So this is somewhat kind of, these ideas came from, so all these social reformers in 19th century and 20th century, they all mixed lot of Western ethos, Christian ethos in. They wanted Hindus to be Hindus, but they wanted to modernize Hinduism. So they wanted to mix some of the Western ideas. So for example, like many of them were opposed to Murti Puja. Many of them. All those groups, Brahma Samaj, Arya Samaj, this Samaj, that Samaj, those groups, they came. So they were all opposed to Murti Puja. Why? Because Christians and Islam, Muslims, they didn't like Murti. They are opposed to it. So in this way, these people, they thought that, oh, this is idol worship, they called it as. What the hell? You are Arya Samaj, it is supposed to be following Vedas strictly. Vedas, we only believe in Vedas. But in Vedas only so much worship of deities is mentioned. So anyway, now they are building Ram Mandir. What's the point in building Ram Mandir? According to Arya Samaj, it is wrong then. So they all mixed these Western ideas and Christian ideas. So in 18th century, some kind of one Christian group became prevalent in European countries, especially. That was called as muscular Christianity. 19th century also. So they wanted to make everyone Christians by using muscles. So by showing strength. So that is called as muscular Christianity. They only started this cricket. We will play cricket, we will play football. We will show that we are strong. Of course, later it got converted into some kind of, what is it? Gentleman, they call it a gentleman's game or something. Gentleman's game. So originally cricket was started by muscular Christianity. And Indians, foolish Indians, what they thought, oh, we are also not less than you. We will also start playing cricket. Now cricket is so important thing in India, right or not? So these all came from such ideas. So basically they wanted to show strength. So when our Swamiji said, play football, don't read Bhagavad Gita, play football, that means this is some muscular Hinduism. Just like muscular Christianity is there, like that muscular Hinduism he wanted to promote. Of course, Hinduism, what is Hinduism? Prabhupada, he defined in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a dried out branch of Vedic tree, he said. What is called as Hinduism in modern days? It's a dried out branch of Vedic tree, he said. So tree is there, tree when a branch is broken and it is cut and it dries out. So in Vedic culture it is there. It is not that like what Gandhi said, that you have to be ahimsa. Not like that. So Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, be strong, he says. Krishna is also motivating everyone, be strong. That is what is balam balavata achaham kama raga vivarjita. I am that kind of strength which is devoid of attachment and lust and attachment, he says. So Prabhupada said it is meant for protecting the weak. So Kshatriyas, Krishna is encouraging Kshatriya spirit in Bhagavad Gita to show strength. So anyway, this kind of some mixed idea of by playing football you will become Kshatriya or something like that. muscular Hinduism. Nothing. Of course, he said, you eat meat, he said. So, I know nowadays that Murgi mission sadhus, they eat meat, right? They want to become strong by eating meat or something like that. What is the purpose? Why sadhus have to eat meat actually? What they have got to do? Eat meat and become strong. All completely misconceived ideas of spiritual life. So basically, Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyaha, based on this misunderstanding of this verse. So Prabhupada very clearly he explained Atma Bala means spiritual strength. So he says without spiritual strength we cannot attain Lord. Vishate Brahmadhama. This verse ends with Brahmadhama, abode of the Lord. So if you want to enter into the abode of the Lord, we need spiritual strength. Basically, we have to become pure devotees. So we have to get away from the weaknesses of. There is another word, what is that? In Bhagavad Gita also, Prabhupada uses that in 15th chapter, last verse you see. That is basically this attachment. We were discussing raga, attachment. So in the 15th chapter beginning, that attachment to this material world, tree of this material world, basically sense gratification. So that is, word is granthi, Hridaya granthi is there. Hridaya granthi means, Prabhupada he explains, it's a weakness of heart, he says. In English he put it like that. So basically it is material attachment. So we have to become free from that. So you see this comes in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So we have to, with the sword of knowledge, we have to cut this tree of material existence, our attachment to this tree of material world. In this way, basically what it is, we have to develop spiritual strength by engaging ourselves more and more in Krishna service. And Krishna is the source of that spiritual strength. And by keeping ourselves away from sensual indulgence, overcoming the weakness of heart, attachment, material attachment. So Prabhupada quoting this verse, Nayam Atma Balahinena, without spiritual strength, we will not attain Lord. So Prabhupada basically connected this. You see this Gaudiya understanding of this verse from Mundaka Upanishad is that this spiritual strength is Balaram. Here word Balahinena, Atma Bala means, our acharyas, they explained, is Balaram. So each verse can be understood from different way. Our acharyas gave different insights into that. So Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyaha. Now you see, Bhagavan means one of the thing is that he possesses strength, unlimited strength. Bhagavan means unlimited strength. So we also see potencies, Achintya Shakti we see. Upanishad say, Parasha Shaktir Vividaiva Shruyate Swabhaviki Jnana Balakriyacha. Swabhaviki Jnana Balakriyacha. Jnana Balakriya. So these verses, these things are there. Lord possesses unlimited Achintya Shakti, Bala. In particular, Balaram, because his name is Bala, Balaram, among all forms of the Lord, his form is connected with strength. So our Acharya is explaining this verse from Mundaka Upanishad. They said that this is Balaram, Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyaha. So this spiritual strength comes from Balaram. So sometimes our Acharyas have explained that Krishna he attracts us. He attracts us to devotional service or spiritual life. And Balaram gives us spiritual strength, they say. So in this way, Krishna Balaram, Prabhupada established Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan. So Prabhupada, he Once he asked, who is strong, Balarama or Krishna, like that he asked. You see how Acharya is, these are different ways to make us Krishna conscious. He is asking such questions. Who is, what is there? Both are same person. Ultimately it is Krishna, we all know. But why he asks such questions? Just like we are small babies in spiritual. From spiritual point of view, we are all small infants. So he is making us. A father is making. He trains the child. So his spiritual master is training us by different ways. Simple question, just in a light way. Who is strong? Balarama or Krishna, like that. This is in Vrindavan, this first time happened. This discussion is so different devotees told different things. Prabhupada told Krishna is strong. Why? What is the reason given? Krishna. We may think philosophically, shastrically, Krishna is the original source of all avataras and this and that, everything from Krishna, all Purushas come from Krishna. Prabhupada, what he gave example, because Balaram is putting his hand is on Krishna's shoulder and he has taken support of Krishna, therefore Krishna is strong. Anyway, now we are supposed to glorify Balaram, not Krishna. But the form of this form particularly of Lord, there are unlimited forms, particularly this form is connected with strength. So like we were saying, muscular religions, So here is a person you can connected with, you can worship him with in connection with strength. So when we become spiritually weak, or we are all spiritually weak, and sometime we may feel as we are making progress in Krishna consciousness, we may. So we have to pray to Balaram that he is the source of, because he is the source of all spiritual. He is not only source of spiritual strength, he is the source of all material strength also. So anything in this material world, it all comes from Krishna. So in Krishna book, beautifully, Krishna book also, that is later included in 10th canto of Bhagavatam purport also. If there is any strength in this world, the source of that strength is Krishna. If there is any knowledge within this world, the source of that knowledge is Krishna. If there is any education within this world, the source of that education is Krishna. Like that, Prabhupada goes on writing. Actually, that is a commentary on that verse, Satyavratam Satyaparam Trisatyam Satyasya Yonim Nihitam Cha Satye. So Krishna is Satyasya Yoni. Krishna, he ends saying that Krishna is the source of all the relative truths, he says. Prabhupada ends that section. So that right up. So Satyasya Yonim Nihitam Cha Satya. He is the source of all truths. Satyasya Yoni, mother of all truths. So that verse, that is the first prayer of the demigods when Lord Krishna was in the womb of Devaki. That is called as Garbhastuti, right? So Garbhastuti. So Satyavratam Satyaparam Trisatyam, Krishna is the supreme absolute truth. So source of knowledge, source of education, source of all strength, source of all relative truths, everything is Krishna. Anyway, particularly this form is connected with Bala, so therefore his name is Balarama. He is a source of spiritual strength. There are many names connected with this. Balarama, what is that? Balarama, Balabhadra, then Baladeva, Achyutagraja. No, connected with Bala word should be there. So these three names are coming to mind. Often in 10th canto of Bhagavatam, we have discussed that today morning also, that Balaram is always he was called with the name Rama, Krishna Rama, Rama Rama, again and again. In 10th canto of Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami used Rama word. So then Bala is connected with that Rama, and in this way it becomes Balarama. Then Baladeva is there, Deva, Baladeva. Baladev is also one name. Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, we say. Baldev. There is actually village in Braj area called Baldev. There is a deity of Balaram. He is called as Baladev. And based on that deity only, that village was called as Baladev village, famous. Actually, those are Baladev, that Balaram deity is established by Vajranava, the great grandson of Krishna. So he established 4 devas in 4 directions in Braja area. 4 devas. One is Keshav Dev, who is in Mathura, that Janmasthan. Keshav temple is there, Keshav Dev temple is there. Then Haridev is in Govardhan area. Govinda Dev was in Vrindavan, now he is in Jaipur. But temple is there, and that Pratibhu Murti is there of Govinda Dev. And then this Baladev is there. So these are 4 devas, 4 prominent. He established many deities, but these are 4 prominent deities. They are called as 4 devas. So one among the devas is Baladev, Balaram deity. That Balaram deity is there. We don't have many Balaram temples. Of course, here in Udupi it is there, Krishna and Balaram, both deities, Madhvacharya established. So, and in Kerala we went, right, last 1.5-2 years back. There we found one temple, Baldev temple, Balaram temple was there. Pandavas established Balaram temple. So he is Baladev. And then there is Balabhadra word is also there. Balabhadra is also there. Balabhadra. Prabhupada translates, Bhadra means auspicious. He is a source of auspicious strength, he says. Source of auspicious strength. What do you mean by auspicious strength? Auspicious strength means which is favorable for spiritual advancement, which is favorable for so ultimately spiritual, we may say dharmic activities, opposed to demonic strength. This is spiritual strength. So demons have strength. Of course, that strength is also coming from Krishna, whether good or bad, it all comes from Krishna only. But it just destroys them, that strength. What is the result, end result of that actually? That is just a destruction. So we need spiritual strength, auspicious strength, that is Balabhadra. So he is the source of Balabhadra. Balabhadra. Krishna himself took these names actually. In 10th canto of Bhagavatam we say, when he was he was ordering Yogamaya to transfer. First that he said that she should appear also in Braja area, in the house of Nanda Maharaj as the daughter of Yashoda. Then he told that you should, already my expansion is in the womb of Devaki, you should transfer him from the womb of Devaki to Yashoda, the Rohini's womb. So then he says that because you have appeared as my sister, so you will be celebrated in this world with different names, you will be worshipped like that, says. Then he tells about how Balaram also will be celebrated with different names. That is 10th canto, chapter 2, verse number 13. It says, Garbha Sankarshanatham vai Prahu Sankarshanam bhuvi Rameti Lokaramanad Balabhadram Baloshrayat. Garbha Sankarshanath. Because he was attracted from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, So therefore in this world he will be called as Bhuvi, means in this world he will be called as Sankarshanam. Karshana, krasha dhatu. So then Rameti Lokaramanad. He will be called as Rama because of he will give pleasure to the world, and especially our acharyas in this purport, he will give pleasure to Vrajavasis. Then Balabhadram Bhaloshrayat, Bala Ushrayat, unlimited potency, extensive potency, because he is a source of unlimited potency. He possesses unlimited strength, therefore he is called as Balabhadra. So among all, like I mentioned, among many forms, so this form exhibited strength. So therefore he is called as Balabhadra. And also we see when Gargamuni came, and he gave names to these boys, Krishna and Balaram. So there also he says about this. What he says? Shri Garga Uvacha. First he gives names to Balaram actually. Ayam hi Rohini Putro Ramayan Suhrudo Gunai Akyasyate Rama iti. So he is called as Rama. Why? Because Ramayam Suhrudo Gunai. Because of his qualities of giving pleasure to others and his friendliness. So he will be called as Rama iti. Baladikyat bhalam viduhu yadunam apradagbhavat Sankarshanam ushantyapi. Baladikya balam viduhu. So here Adikya word come. There it had Ushray, what is that? Ushrayat word had come. Here Adikya word, Bala Adikya. Adikya means extensive again, extraordinary strength. So Bhaladikya Balam Viduhu, because he will exhibit extraordinary strength, therefore he will be called as Bala. Vidu. Yadunam Apradak Bhavat, he will Yadunama means he will bring all the Yadus together, therefore he will be called as Sankarshana. So another meaning of Sankarshana, different meaning of Sankarshana. Here Gargamuni gives. So in this way he also tells. So therefore Balaram is a strength. Like we can see in the pastimes in Brajalila. So Yashoda would always tell Balaram that you are very powerful, you are strong, so please protect this boy Krishna, your younger brother. So there we come to know, we get hint of that how Balaram was strong. Even they were small boys. But Yashoda had faith that Balaram will be able to protect Krishna from demons, from all the calamities. So, and when sometime Balaram would not go with all the coward boys and Krishna, that time Yashoda would be very tensed. So what will happen to Krishna now? Balaram is also not gone. So in Brajalila we get to know this. That day when Kaliya, because of the poison of Kaliya, all the cows, coward boys, they died. And in the beginning also, Krishna later he was dancing on the hoods of Kaliya, but in the beginning Kaliya was showing his strength. And he had captured Krishna in his what is that? What's name? Walls. How you say? Walls. So he had he had captured Krishna strongly. Everyone thought that Krishna is finished. That day Balaram had not gone with Krishna and covered boys. He was in the home. Like that, sometimes Krishna would not go. So Mother Yashoda would be worried. If Balaram is not there, what will happen to Krishna? So she would always, every day she would tell Balaram and send him with Krishna. That always take care of Krishna, like that. These are all transcendental pastimes. So basically he exhibited strength, therefore he is called as Balaram, Baladev, or Balabhadra. His strength. So we have to, so if we want, according to Mundaka Upanishad, if we want to enter Vishanti Brahma Dhama, if we want to enter into Krishna's abode, we have to become spiritually strong. Basically we have to become pure devotees. For becoming pure devotees also, we need spiritual strength. We should say no to Maya. We should say no to sensing. Vegas, Rupa Goswami explained these Vegas, forces, of senses. So they pull us everywhere, they drag us here and there. So that is our precarious condition in the material world. So, and more in modern days, as materialistic society goes on degrading, it becomes very difficult, right? So therefore we have to pray to Balaram. So Krishna attracts us and Balaram gives us strength. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, any questions, comments? Not much about Balaram. Only little bit about Balaram. More of about strength, weakness and strength.
What Balaram means, recently I came across that incident of Mahabharata when there was fight between Duryodhana and Bhima. So, Lord Balarama was neutral, but when Duryodhana was killed, Lord Balarama was very unhappy that he was killed by unfair means. So Lord Balarama wanted to kill Bhima and then Krishna resisted him. Then Lord Balarama unhappily left the place. So means he was favoring Duryodhana as his good disciple.
As a dharma. Gurus would be like that. Sometimes they are more favorable to their disciples. It happens. So Balaram is representing them. Means basically I meant to say Balaram is showing that how in the material world gurus would be like that, right? They may do favoritism to their disciples. So it happens. But we transcendentally we see that it is just to bring rasa in the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram. Maybe Madhvacharya must have given some story behind this. He has so many stories, histories, Puranic histories behind every incident of Mahabharata. I don't know, I have not read. But it is common, no? Right? In the material world, people, they favorite, they show their disciples. It happens. I observed that even among gurus of his. Some special mercy you will get if you are. Maybe some institutional position you may get. If you have a guru who is a GBC. Anything else? You know, you must have read Bhagavad Tatparya Nirnaya, no?
Regarding this incident, I can find out.
I have, but I didn't read. Anyway, this is answer.
Is it over-indulgence in sense gratification is called lust based on some statement?
Kama. Prabhupada himself said that in the lecture that balam balavata chaham kama raga vivarjita, in that purport. In that not purport, in that lecture he said. Kama is, because there you see distinction he is making between dharma and kama. Dharma means regulated indulgence. Some indulgence is required, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said, without sense gratification, a conditioned soul will die, he said. Some sense gratification is required. Of course, we eat, we take rest, right or not? Even brahmacharis, we eat and take rest. One thing you can avoid, sex you can avoid. You will not die without sex. That is one thing our Acharya said. Shukdev Goswami also said, I think, Bhagavatam, among all the sense gratification. You have to eat, you have to sleep also. If you don't sleep, you will go crazy, mad, right?
In the Puranas, it is mentioned that this Kali is servitor of Balarama. So when Balaram decided to take incarnation, he asked him what role I should take to serve.
Kali, he asked him.
Yes. So and he was given this role of Duryodhana. There was a drama made in you can find out which Purana it is.
In Bhagavatam also it comes, no? In the first canto that Parikshit gave the places.
No. Kali, Duryodhana is Kali personified, but he was serving Balaram and Balaram gave him the position of Duryodhana. When Balaram
Like that. Generally what happens, different forms of the Lord control different aspects of material world. Like Aniruddha is controlling mind, like that. Those descriptions are there in Bhagavatam, no? Right? So they are dominating deities of particular material aspects, tattvas. So like that, Balaram is a dominating deity of Kali, like that. Then Duryodhana is Kali. We don't find that in Bhagavatam.
Yes.
Maybe in other Puranas it may be there.
Madhvacharya has mentioned this.
His past life and
So his commentaries are something unique. I don't know from where he brings. No doubt he was very learned. Even Jiva Goswami, he said, I didn't read the original Vedic literatures, classical, what we call classical Puranas. I took all the quotes from Madhva's commentaries, like that, he said. In Tattva Sandarbha, beginning. I think he has quoted as, Madhvacharya has quoted as more than something like 245 scriptures in his writings. Reading so many is a big thing, right?
Shankaracharya must have that.
Anyway, Vedic knowledge would be in their heart. Prabhupada said, no need to read so many books, he said. We should read one book thoroughly. Too much reading also disturbs mind. So Prabhupada, he said 4 books, he said. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Lot it is. Of course, reading these means it's a not small thing. one verse you can go on discussing.
I'm just thinking Yudhishthira and Duryodhana were born almost at the same time. I heard like that. And Bhima and Yudhishthira was born early. Bhima and Duryodhana were born almost at the same time.
Bhima and Duryodhana. Yudhishthira and Duryodhana.
Yudhishthira and Duryodhana.
Bhima is elder to
Bhima is elder. No.
both of them are adults.
They were born before.
Means somehow by this I felt that Duryodhana was born before Lord Balarama. Was Krishna and Arjuna were kind of born
Yeah,
at the same
equals,
time.
equals.
So Duryodhana and Bhima were superior to age.
Possible, possible, possible. Don't know exactly. But it doesn't matter who is old in.
Because Lord Balarama.
So what mattered was whether you are expert in that field. Whether you are small by age or not, it doesn't matter. Age was one consideration, not that it was not a consideration. But knowledge is not dependent on experience. From which source you are taking knowledge, that matters. Although in the world it has that, experience has its role, but source matters. Prahlad was more knowledgeable than Hiranyakashipu, right? He was just a 5-year-old because he had taken knowledge from Narad Muni. Okay, we'll end here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare